the ones that jammed up Canada's border with the U.S. this month. They're expected to arrive in time for President Biden's State of the Union speech next week. Correspondents Virginia.
The head of one of these convoys tells me the goal is to slow or stop traffic right here. The Washington Capitol Beltway, a 64-mile highway that surrounds the nation's capital. They say they'll largely try to stay outside the city limits to avoid any run-ins with federal law enforcement. So Virginia and Maryland State Police tell me they're on alert and monitoring truck movement.
Truckers protesting mask and vaccine mandates. The Navy is investigating a helicopter crash in Hawaii, helping with military training in Kauai. All 4 civilians on board were killed. Chris Turner watched the chopper go down.
It didn't drop. That's the whole key. It's that helicopter to accelerate.
Winter storm warnings and advisories are up from Texas to southern Illinois. Michael Ray is with North Texas Tollway Authority.
Our crews will go on round-the-clock shifts, and they'll be out on patrol, and they will be treating the roads as needed.
Heavy rain could trigger flooding in parts south. A new report finds smoking and slots may go hand in hand. An independent gambling research company says banning smoking at Atlantic City casinos could cost up to 2,500 jobs and almost 11% of casino revenue. Smokers account for 21% of AC gamblers. This is CBS News.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. Have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh and Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AA Wealth Management, LLC.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with a booming voice that emphasizes all the main points. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
That part is super important.
Here's one with a booming voice.
I'm emphasizing everything.
Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance.
Like a page with every word highlighted.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
From the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
It's 21 degrees at 9:05. Good morning, I'm Dave Maury. The City of Midland's recycling contractor, Republic Services, has announced that it has postponed recycling collection for city residents today due to inclement weather. At this time, collection has been postponed for both yesterday and today. Recycling customers should leave their bins at the curb for collection on Thursday, February 23rd. And the Thursday, week 3 recycling customers will be collected on their regularly scheduled collection day. City refuse collection for today will run as scheduled. Residents are encouraged to proceed for collection as they normally would. It's just recycling that's set back. Consumers Energy is reporting scattered outages this morning due to yesterday's freezing rain and ice buildup. 266 in Saginaw County, mainly along I-75 in Buena Vista Township. In Bay County, 255 customers are without power in the areas of Linwood and Calcallan. Isabella County is experiencing 208 outages, mostly around Mount Pleasant. Restoration times vary. The Saginaw Chippewa Indian tribal operations are closed until noon today. They'll make an assessment for the balance of the day later this morning and make an announcement. Liberty Bridge is currently closed to traffic due to some construction issues that arose yesterday. Bay County Central Dispatch first reported the closure just after 3 p.m. due to a problem with an expansion joint. That was followed by a pothole which developed on the north side of the bridge. Anyone needing to cross river in that area will need to use another of the city's bridges. After nearly losing service a month ago, Saginaw County is taking another step to bring its medical examiner services in-house. WSGW's Rick Antonio has more.
Following a contract cancellation with the Michigan Institute of Forensic Science, overdue bill of $116,000, Saginaw County Commissioners approved a resolution to provide just over $1 million to fund a medical examiner's office of its own. Services being contracted through the office include forensic pathology, investigations, transportation and cold storage, and Controller Robert Bell. Contracts are in place, the annual cost should be a bit less after determining how much of each service would be needed.
$1 million price tag is an estimate, and there's some duplication. $300,000 to hire a private company to pick up our deceased. I can
Morning,
provide that
Judge.
service if I get another.
Hey, Art, how you doing?
Good.
How are you?
I'm
well, thank you. Long time no see.
In place.
Yeah,
We have
it's
the
been a
contract
while.
In place. That number
Hang on a second here. I
It will
gotta
be on an annual basis.
get your volume
The
up
county had
somehow.
previously approved a 10-year contract with the MIFSM.
Go ahead and say
in
something.
2019.
Okay.
And
There you go. Perfect. Got it.
Dr. Russell Bush last
Got it.
November.
How you enjoying the
News
bench?
Radio 100.5 and 790.
Always a new day. You know, you know, you're kind of isolated, so all you see are people without licenses. Maybe they steal, and sometimes they're hitting their spouse. And so I like to get out for that. Yeah, so I can get out and see people that aren't doing that.
All right, hang on. I'll be with you in a few minutes.
All right, thank you.
I turn the video off when we're not on, so don't.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Come see Kelly, Eric, and Kelsey from Applied Center, 3260 Bay Road in Saginaw.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
WSGW News Time, now 9:09. Annette Glenn of Midland was recently honored by the Michigan Groundwater Association. She was presented with the organization's 2021 Legislative Appreciation Award during an event in Frankenmuth. Glenn serves as chair of a House Budget Subcommittee over Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy. She has consistently fought for clean water initiatives throughout her legislative career. The Michigan Groundwater Association is dedicated to the safety and viability of one of our state's greatest natural resources. Glenn says she shares our mission and will continue to fight for it as a member of the Michigan legislature and representative of her community. They're playing the waiting game in Monroe. Warning remains in effect until further notice. MNN's Jason Scott reports.
Since Friday, floodwaters from the River Raisin have barely budged. Ice jamming the flow of water near the city of Monroe, causing the water to spill over the river's banks.
I don't think we have quite enough softening and quite enough melting just in a couple of days. What we're hoping maybe if you can get just enough of it to melt to just cut a little channel in somewhere. Water's going to tend to find its way out once you've got a little channel, and it looks like right now we've had a little bit of levels dropping in the last 24 hours, so we're getting free underneath the ice.
Patrick Lewis, Director of Engineering and Public Services, says the river is too shallow to get or cutter near the ice jam to break up the problem.
The showdown between the U.S. and Russia over Ukraine adds to a sense of uncertainty hovering over the auto industry. Here's Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilbert.
The big issue with any crisis is what does it do to consumer confidence? LMC Automotive's Jeff Schuster says it's one more issue on top of a pandemic, high gas prices, high inflation, and a shortage of vehicles.
The consumer has been very resilient, and at some point that resilience is going to fade, and this could be the trigger point.
Meanwhile, car makers doing business in Russia, including Stellantis, are watching to see how they might be impacted by any sanctions put on Russia by the U.S. and the European Union.
When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 75207. I'm Dave Maurer.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Partial sunshine is possible at times today. Highs will top out near 23 degrees. Winds northwesterly 5 to 15 miles per hour. Higher gusts possible. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Lows drop to 13. Winds turn to the north-northeast around 5 miles per hour. Thursday, partial sunshine again, possible at times. Highs make it into the middle to upper 20s. Thursday night, snow develops or builds into the area after midnight. Up to 2 inches can accumulate by Friday morning. Lows fall back to 19. And then a chance for more snow on Friday, mainly before noon. I'm Phil Jensko with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Right now, it's 20.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Loop. 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you, and welcome on this Wednesday morning to another edition of the Art Lewis Show from my Saginaw Spirit home studio. Nice to have you with us this morning. Our program brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. For all of your residential and commercial real estate needs, give Linda a call, 989-295-7713, or stop in and visit her at the Point at M46 and M47. Where you'll also find Cafe 476 and its delicious soups and foods and beverages. Later on this morning, we'll have open phones, and at 11 o'clock on Focus, Westside Decorating will be the subject of our focus this morning. But we're going to start out talking about a new court in Saginaw, one designed to handle domestic violence cases. And it is the project, if you will, of Judge A.T. Frank from the 70th District Court. And we say good morning to His Honor this morning. Judge, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Art. Thank you for having me on this morning.
Oh, that's good. All right. So I have to start out with just the overview of what brought about the need to have a specialized court for domestic violence.
It's kind of that old, the definition of insanity. You just keep doing the same thing over and over, you're going to get the same results. And we've seen that. When we look at some of the stats here in Saginaw, we see that domestic violence is almost double our state average based on, I think, our 2019 numbers. And so it's just something needs to be done differently. And so by instituting this or giving this a try, we hope to be able to do that. Just to think outside the bench, as you will.
All right. So let's look at up till now, the typical domestic violence case.
Right.
If it makes it into the legal system, it comes before a judge such as yourself, and you adjudicate that case. What will be different in the domestic violence court?
Well, we're going to take a more comprehensive view, going from the time when it comes into the court system, that being the arraignment. So we're letting the person know what they're charged with. And then what we're going to do is speed that up. So usually it may take 30 days before we get to a pretrial, and then it's stuck with maybe 20 other cases from retail fraud, drunk driving while license suspended. So now you're putting all these cases together without taking into account the nature of that type of case. So what the domestic violence docket will do, speed it up. So once a person is arraigned, we hope to get a pretrial within 2 weeks, get them an attorney if they can't afford one. get that pretrial, have the prosecutor who's already probably in contact with the victim, get services for the victim as well. So we kind of want to speed that process up. And that is, I think, one of the fundamental changes that, at least that I hope to do with this.
So by doing this, does that process change what happens to the victim? Are we now putting greater emphasis on the victim as well as the, the perpetrator?
Right. I think while maintaining the procedural fairness that every defendant is entitled to and coming through the court system, we're also saying to the victim, hey, we want to make sure that you're safe. We want to make sure that if you need to get out of an abusive relationship, that we can link you to services. And already Underground Railroad does a great job of reaching out. And so we just want to reinforce that for the victim. Well, we see, in overwhelmingly, a majority of the cases, they get dismissed because the victim doesn't want to proceed. And it may be for a host of reasons why. And so this is just one more tool that we hope that we can at least help with the victim to say that we're going to be with you, we're going to walk through this, and make sure that you're not forgotten throughout the process.
That's interesting. Would you expect then with this process there will be fewer dismissals?
I hope so. I really do. Because when you see somebody and they have 4 or 5 prior domestic violence cases and they've been dismissed because the victim has not wanted to proceed for whatever reasons. It may be economic, they may be intimidated by their abuser. And so this is just, I think, one more way of just saying that maybe it's time now to get this person to be held accountable for their actions.
Has this been modeled elsewhere?
It has.
Created a new
There's, these types of specialty courts, and this is more of a docket than a specific court. But, I started the mental health court, what was that, back in 2013, I think. And, it was really needed in this area. And this is another, it's just putting a focus on an issue that is certainly becoming prevalent in our area.
Now, does this mean that all of these cases will come exclusively before you?
I'm right now going to start with just the cases that I get, and then we'll reach out and then ask for other courts if they want to refer, whether it's an attorney that wants to refer their client, whether it's the prosecutor that wants to refer their client, or our pretrial services, or the court themselves. When you look at some of the cases, you see the same names over and over. And so the other would be that if I see a name on an arraignment list, I may reach out to that other judge to ask if I can just take that case in as well.
There, it would seem to me, as an outsider to the court system, you would face day after day of seeing these cases a certain amount of burnout. Are you worried about that?
Yeah, I did. Judge Fichtner is doing the mental health court now. I was getting burned out from it. It was just takes a lot of energy and a lot of time. And then you get into a rut, and then it's time to refocus. And Judge Fichtner with mental health court has taken that to an all new level. And she's just doing an amazing job with that court. And then with this court, I imagine with this docket, we hope to, over the next several months, to incorporate other areas such as personal protection orders, and then maybe taking it into the family law area within a year or so. So I really would like to kind of make it more of a focus from the time of both criminal and civil aspects of these types of cases.
And would you be taking some of the cases that Judge McGraw sees now?
When he heard I was doing this, he was quick to give me a call and say, I got something for you.
I know. I co-chair the Crime Prevention Council, and Pat is with us. And
he does a great job. I said I do want to look at taking those. There's a judge down in Louisville that does the same thing. He has a domestic violence docket. He also takes the civil aspect of personal protection orders, and they go hand in hand. So it will be I think a at some point, the thing to do.
Can you hang on for one more segment?
Sure can.
Good. Have to take a break, and we will be back. We're talking to Judge A.T. Frank, the 70th District Court judge, who is creating a domestic violence court in Saginaw. We will be back with more.
Your career takes flight when you join the winning teams at Soaring Eagle and Saginaw Eagles Landing. The premier gaming and entertainment destinations in Michigan are currently hiring for a wide variety of positions for all levels of experience. Visit us online at SoaringEagleCasino.com for a full list of openings and learn about all the benefits and the new $15 an hour minimum wage. Apply today at Soaring Eagle Casino Resort and Casino and Hotel.
Dell Technologies President's Day business sale has arrived. For a limited time, save up to 45% on all our latest gear to work from anywhere with fast free shipping. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business, so now's the time for incredible savings on PCs, along with servers, monitors, and docks, all with free shipping and quick installation and setup through Dell Installation Services. Get started by shopping online or contacting your Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. Again, the number to call is 877-ASK-DELL.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to...
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Yes, I'm so sorry about the wait, ma'am. I'll be with you shortly. Carrie, how many appointments did we book at 2:30?
Jim's physical therapy clinic is pretty stretched. He needs another PT before patients get bent out of shape.
You get fresh ice back from Miss Davis's knee.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Looking at upbeat earnings news from Lowe's, the home improvement chain is also raising guidance for the next year. Its sales in the recent quarter were up more than 5%, which is also a stronger than expected increase. Lowe's president Marvin Ellison says the company remains confident in the long-term strength of the home improvement market. And Overstock's earnings top forecast, it was helped by strong home furnishing sales over Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday. Beer maker Molson Coors made a profit in the period that lost money a year ago. It was making more money from its Coors Light and Miller Lite brands. However, Fresh Del Monte more money than forecast in the recent quarter. It's dealing with supply and labor challenges. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Kosola, invested in you.
Inflation just broke a nearly 40-year record thanks to Biden's out-of-control spending, and every second you are losing more of your hard-earned savings. But you can fight back. With a gold IRA from Birch Gold, you can protect your retirement from this outright theft. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bannon, and I'm one of the Birch Gold's many happy customers. To learn how to set up your own gold IRA, text the word SHELTER to 9898 today. Text SHELTER to 989898.
You could unlock more cash than you realize from your home's equity with a cash-out refinance today. In the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%. And with Rocket Mortgage, you could unlock thousands in less than 3 weeks. But you've got to act right now before rates go up. So when you're looking to unlock the cash in your home, Rocket can. Call 833-8ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started.
Rates current as of 12/12/21. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
On our first date, we had met apart. Now we're a lot closer.
Just like Cliff and Deb, thousands of singles over 50 found their perfect match on Silver Singles last year.
I feel like I'm 20 years old again, and I'm pretty sure she feels the same way.
Rediscover the magic of dating with Silver Singles, the exclusive community for singles over 50. Sign up today and receive daily matches you won't want to miss at silversingles.com/radio. silversingles.com/radio.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show,
I guess we'll try to make sense of it all.
that is a very, very difficult job. We will have fun.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5. News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show on this Wednesday morning, talking to 70th District Court Judge A.T. Frank here in Saginaw County, creating a domestic violence court. We talked a lot about the victim and getting services for the victim. What do we do with the perpetrator? Prisons and jails are loaded. Is it automatic? That's where they're going? If they're convicted?
No, we look at the one, we want to hold them accountable. So the main part is accountability. You know, right now you see these cases getting dismissed and they leave with no consequence whatsoever. So what I started doing and working with local organization or CSC counseling here in town, we put them in a pretrial program just to try and get a handle on, or at least allow them to get a handle on, why are they engaging in this behavior? And what we're talking about, I mean, when you look at, we're looking at a pattern of controlling behavior generally. It's not the isolated angry name calling or, so we're not looking at that of two adults that are frustrated with each other. We're looking at a pattern of controlling behavior. And so if we can get them in a pretrial program, at least to get that ball rolling. Sometimes, and we find good success, that even if the case gets dismissed, we've had a couple people continue on with their counseling because they don't want to continue that way. And so if they're confronting why they're doing it, sometimes it's the factors are drug and alcohol. Sometimes it's some trauma in their background. And so if they can get a handle on that, then they can move forward.
Because it's pretrial and they haven't been convicted.
Right. Yeah.
You have to have their cooperation in order to do that, or can you order them to do it?
Well, I can order them to attend this program just for, I mean, it's not going to be a 52-week program, which would be the batter's intervention program. But I can do it more as an opportunity just to try and get them into that initial stage to get some awareness to them of what's going on. And you know, when you look at the different type of courts, even though I'm going to engage in a more wide-ranging from the time of arraignment to the time of sentencing, some of the courts are more of a post-judgment. So we're looking at that sentence part when they're on probation and so forth. So we're going to have that part, but I wanted to get to that pretrial as well. And so, yeah, it's kind of that. And we can't, the other part, let me mention this one as well. Sometimes we want to get the victim in to a counseling program of some type to help them establish boundaries. And even though we can't order that of the victim, with the work of John McLogan's office, the prosecutor's office, to try and allow them, and Underground Railroad, to allow them to get into that, some type of orientation program to help them start setting their boundaries.
You mentioned this early on, and part of the problem is victims not willing to come forward.
Right.
And will this court in any way break that cycle?
I hope so. I really do. Part of it, I think, will, at least I hope, and we've seen that in courts around the country that take up these types of dockets, that if the victim sees that they are being treated or being understood or being heard of what's going on, then they're willing to continue going forward. But from what I've read, when they see that they're locked in with all those other cases, it's like, where do I fit in this? If I'm just treated as someone who also got a speeding ticket or a driving while license suspended ticket, where do I fit in this? So I think by taking these cases and setting them apart, we can begin that process, or continue with that process anyways.
So does this set you up more like a trial court rather than the district court where the initial case comes?
Well, we all handle it the way, and we're a cross-assigned court,
That's
Saginaw County court system. So we're all cross-assigned with probate, circuit, and district. Each judge is. We actually, the district court level, we have the felony domestic violence third cases, and so we hear those. So we'll have a jury trial on them as well, and so it just continues that process. So it is, it's going to be a trial court. So sometimes if you have a jury that's going to sit as a trier of fact to hear both sides and to make their decision, we'll continue down that road.
Have there been any studies in Saginaw as to why our numbers of domestic violence are so much higher than the state average?
Not that I'm aware of. I would imagine Underground Railroad, in preparing for their grants, have kind of analyzed some of that data. I haven't gotten that deep into the data part. I do know, though, from reading articles, there's the proximal factors and the distal factors. So we're looking at what factors are immediately causing maybe the perpetrator to act in the manner that he is, and primarily we're talking about men. Some of that may be no hope for the future. So that's a factor that was cited, I think, in a study out in Philadelphia, that was an overwhelming issue that the perpetrator brought up on why they were doing what they were doing. And then some of it is just lack of judgment. A lot of it's issues with the relationship, maybe their past relationship, family relationship, trauma in their past. And so by getting to them, hopefully it's let them see what's going on to change their behavior.
I have to ask this question. Does Child Protective Services get involved because kids are in the home?
Yeah, they do. But I have my run-ins once in a while with Child Protective Services, but I know they're overworked and understaffed, and it's just sometimes it's a no-win situation for them. Sometimes we refer cases over to them. We have to call the 1-800 number over in Grand Rapids to start the case, and then they start doing their investigation, and then sometimes we hear what's going on with what the results are, and sometimes we may not know at all, actually.
Yeah. Is there a start date for this new court judge?
We have started doing this in the sense of I'm pulling the cases apart as far as separating them. It's like turning a destroyer. It's going to take a minute to move everything. Our dockets are set a few months in advance. With the arraignments, though, we're starting to get those cases and setting those at a separate time. And then what we've already started doing are taking some of those defendants that have coming through who have that continual pattern of controlling behavior. We started referring them into the pretrial program and at least having them complete that. Sometimes the cases are eventually dismissed, but they still have to complete that initial program. So we've started doing that.
And last topic, the state has now agreed not to reduce the judge count in Saginaw County.
Yeah.
Your reaction to that?
Yeah, it's something that when you look at the numbers, particularly in light of COVID, I remember when I was in the legislature, we did the traffic count, and I remember the Department of Transportation would talk about storage of cars in a turning lane. Well, we have these storage of cases. I feel like a hoarder because I have all these files just waiting to be tried. And Judge Jackson, our chief judge, has finally said that we got the okay to go ahead with jury trials. So now we hope to kind of move those forward, and that judgeship's going to be crucial because it allows, and I know Judge Borchard currently is doing family law, and I think that's what this the replacement for Judge Borchard will be doing as well. And so that'll allow the other judges to they got a lot of cases that are waiting to be tried. I know that. Yeah. So
is the courthouse open for trial, or are we still remotely trying?
We're slowly opening. We got the go ahead to start setting our jury trials. So that some judges are probably already setting those. I don't think I've yet set my trial docket. I would imagine that's going to be in April before we get those set.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're getting there. COVID's at a new, kind of a new twist on things.
Yeah,
Some good, some not so good.
That's true. But Your Honor, listen, thank you very much for spending the time with us this morning. And maybe down the road, we'll do it again, see if the court's working the way you anticipated it would work.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And it's so good to see you again, Art. It's been a long time.
It's good to see you too, AT. It has been a long time. I spend my wife and I, our best friends are Steve Borello and Nancy. So every now and then I have to talk to somebody else in the judiciary.
Yeah, Steve kind of keeps it discussion.
I love him like a brother.
Yeah, he's a great human.
All right. Well, AT, thanks a lot. We appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you for everything. Be well.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Judge A.T. Frank talking about the new domestic violence court being established in Saginaw. We'll take a break, and then we will return.
Business trip coming up soon?
Fine. Best to Steve. See you later.
MBS
Take care.
International Airport is your premier airport for personal and business travel. With services through Delta and United Airlines, you will feel upgraded as soon as you walk through the door. Book your flight today at mbsairport.org and let us help you see the world.
What's the most retirement plan?
Income is king because we all need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
I need postcards printed and designed. Oh, and a targeted direct mail campaign. It's possible at Staples.
I need my presentation printed, bound, and perfect.
Also possible. Big promise. Your small business marketing will make a big impact. And right now, get 20% off custom printed signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more. Explore what's new at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 2/26. Visit staples.com/signage for details.
Stretch your dollar with 11% off everything at Menards. Save big money on your next project right now. Update your floors with Great Lakes Flooring. Great Lakes Vinyl Plank traffic areas. Plus, it's waterproof and easily clicks together. Right now, all Great Lakes flooring is 11% off. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through February 26th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
On our first date, we had masks on and kept 6 feet apart. Now we're a lot closer.
Just like Cliff and Deb, thousands of singles over 50 found their perfect match on Silver Singles Lab.
20 years old again, and I'm pretty sure she feels the same way.
Rediscover the magic of dating with Silver Singles, the exclusive community for singles over 50. Sign up today and receive daily matches you won't want to miss at silversingles.com/radio. silversingles.com/radio.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC. Base therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Finding great candidates. Well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
From the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios, you are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
Hi, welcome back to the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. We'll have open phones for the remainder of the program right through 11 o'clock this morning. And our number is 989-752-6111. 989-752-6111. You'll notice the old 866 number disappeared because we don't use it anymore. Wasn't necessary. The 989-752-6111 number will get you in, and most of the providers don't charge you long distance roaming and all that good stuff. So from wherever you are, we'd love to hear from you, whatever's on your mind. You cannot listen to the news on the radio, turn on the news on television, pick up a paper without reading about Russia, Ukraine, and sanctions. It is underway. And the question is, where will it lead? Will it lead to a new European front and possibly war? Is this World War III in the making? Or are there enough tools in the sanction box to force Russia to rethink its position? I have to tell you, I'm not an optimist on that. I think that Putin thinks he's going to win, as unfortunately he's done in the past. And I think he looks at the current sanctions imposed by this administration as weak. They may make it a little harder for Russian banks to obtain money and all of that. But unless you can hit him in his pocketbook, squarely in his pocketbook, I don't think he's going to listen. And when you think back to the dissolution of the Soviet Union and what happened after that, Russia was a country in financial upheaval to the point where they were selling rides in their military jets to make money, and to the point where they restricted how much training and flight time military jet pilots got because of fuel costs, because they didn't have the fuel. That's where Russia was when the Soviet Union collapsed. And then along came energy, the production of oil, and Putin was able to begin to reline his pockets. I don't believe Putin was ever in agreement with the dissolution of the Soviet Union. As a member of the KGB, former head, I think he saw it entirely different than Gorbachev and others. And I think as he sits there today on the throne of power in the Soviet Union, and he acts like a king because he pretty much is a dictator. I mean, yeah, he's elected, but they keep changing the election laws to make sure he gets elected. It's been 20 some odd years now that he's held power in the Kremlin. And I think it's his absolute dream to somehow reunite the Soviet Union. And I think the Ukrainian situation is the tip of the iceberg and a sample of it. I don't think he should have the kind of power he has to tell NATO it can't align itself with another country like the Ukraine. nor do I think he has the authority to all of a sudden declare two new countries as independent from the controlling country, the Ukraine, as he's done with the two territories on the east side of the country. The problem is, I don't know the answer. I don't know that the world knows the answer on how to fight this guy. But I do know it's going to have to be through the pocketbook. I don't want to see a drop of American blood shed over this. Now, if Europe is drawn into a war with the Soviet Union, well, with Russia, not the Soviet Union, if Europe is drawn into some kind of fighting conflict, how long do you think it'll be before American troops get involved? Realistically. The answer probably is not long. We would come to the aid of our NATO allies. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. But I think the sanctions need to be swift and they need to be strong. And they need to cut him at the heart of his wallet. Energy, first and foremost. Somehow, we have to figure out how to replace whatever energy Europe is getting from Russia so that they no longer are dependent on Russia. Germany has postponed the pipeline. That was a good thing. But half the income of the Soviet Union is from energy. So somehow that's the road the sanctions need to be attacked on. Somehow that's where you have to get him at the heart of his finances. All right, we'll take a pause here and come back. The lines are open for you if you got some thoughts on that or anything else.
The Players Lounge is open for business Monday through Saturday, 3 p.m. till 2 a.m. Opens at noon on Wednesdays. Come join us for our fish fry on Fridays. Our burgers are the best in town. There's always live entertainment on the weekends. Come out to celebrate or just relax in one of our newly remodeled rooms. Perfect place to get away for a staycation for the grown-ups or even a birthday party for the kids. The pool. They're ready for all of your wedding plans. For rest, play, or stay, including your wedding day, the Bay Valley Resort is the choice. For more info, call 989-686-3500.
Annette Glenn pledged she'd fight to cut car insurance costs. She pushed legislation giving drivers more choice, reducing premiums. Coming soon, a $400 refund check per vehicle. Annette Glenn got the job done. Paid for by Annette Glenn for State Senate.
Whoever said the more the merrier sure wasn't in charge of hiring new employees, because the more unqualified candidates you have for a job, the more difficult your hiring can be. And that can make the process, well, not so merry for you. Thankfully, there's ZipRecruiter, which you can try right now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology finds the right candidates for your job. But unlike other sites, ZipRecruiter matches people with people, and you can personally invite your top choices to apply, because the perfect hire is more than a list of qualifications. It's an individual. ZipRecruiter makes hiring the right person easy, and that'll keep you and everyone else very merry.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's right, free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
And now a small business setback, delivered by a kind French stranger.
Monsieur, there was an accident. The windshield of your catering van is, how do you say, kaput? But Progressive has an extensive network. Now, we think about the old days. Brave marin revient de guerre.
When things go wrong with your small business, it's comforting to know you have Progressive Commercial. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Croissance for everyone.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Hey guys, there is some important news that all men should take very seriously. Your prostate health. Are you urinating more frequently? Are you waking up at night to urinate? Are you sick and tired of prostate pills that just don't work? Sound familiar? If you are one of the millions of men with prostate problems that are driving you nuts, there is some great news. Prosthogenics is the all-natural product that beat over 157 other prostate supplements in lab tests and was rated the #1 most powerful prostate supplement in the world. #1, because it works. So why not try some Prosthogenics, and your prostate troubles will be a thing of the past. You'll get a great night's sleep and stop waking up in the middle room. To get your free bottle of Prosthogenics, call now 800-600-2020. That's 1-800-600-2020. Take advantage of our 90-day money-back guarantee. Call 800-600-2020. Do it now.
Tonight, it's Michigan Wolverines basketball. The Maize and Blue host the dangerous Rutgers Scarlet Knights in Ann Arbor tonight. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. with tip-off at 7 on 790 News Radio WSGW. Go Blue.
Hi, welcome back here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show, and Al is on the phone with us in Midland. Al, good morning.
Good morning, sir, and thank you for inviting folks into the conversation here. Hey, first, before I get to the Putin stuff, we've got a friend, I think you know who it is. He's got terminal liver cancer, apparently, and we need to pray for this fellow.
Yep, we have been. Absolutely.
So, anyhow, the way I see to do Putin in, and I don't think he has the ability to do it because he's on the wrong side of the aisle to do what needs to be done with this, is do what Reagan and Trump did, is crank up our oil and drilling production and provide for our own fuel and supply our allies with fuel supplies, and that cuts the rug out right from under Putin, and he collapses. That's his economy runs on fuel.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll collapse, but it would certainly hurt him.
Oh, it hurt him worse than all these sanctions.
In 2014, when he annexed Crimea, they put sanctions on, and they hardly made a dent. I mean, they made it tougher for Russian banks, and Russia was in a recession at the time, so it made it difficult to come out. But come out they did, and energy is part of the reason. But again, we're not in a position to do that right now in terms of increasing energy production because of the restrictions this administration has put on the oil and gas industry.
That's what I'm saying. Biden will not do it. That is the most effective way to fight Russia. It would work the fastest, and it's the most effective. Is able to circumvent all these sanctions. They're able to circumvent them because Switzerland and various other countries deal with Russia under the table, and we have no way to stop that from happening. So he's got other ways to run his finances, and apparently I heard from the various sources that the banks that Biden is going after are minuscule. They're very small banks and very small amounts.
Oh, I don't know about that.
They've tightened down. Oh yeah.
I don't know about that.
It's only like 20 or 40 million. That's nothing.
No, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that, Al.
Millions of dollars, not a.
Well, that part is true, but I'm not sure that these are just tiny banks. These are some big Russian banks.
Yeah, they looked into it, and these
Who's
are
they?
small.
Who's they? Who's they?
There's an investigative group that's been looking into this. I can't tell you who it is because I don't want to reveal the sources where the sources are such that I really should not reveal where I got it.
Well, then how do we trust them?
Well, they're very good sources, believe me.
Well,
they were right about the election with Trump winning.
Here we go.
I know, but you won't hear this. You won't hear this information on CBS and NBC, CNN. You won't hear any of this because they don't have this information and they won't talk about it anyway. So that's the kind of sources they are. They're not sources that CNN will rely on. That should tell you a lot.
Doesn't tell me anything if I don't know who they are.
Well, I can't reveal who that is.
Why not? Are they not public sources?
Yes and no.
Well, if they're public sources, what's the
they
difference?
They are public. I found it out, but it's a paid type deal, and it's a special. The information it just cannot be revealed.
Fair enough.
I found this out.
All right.
It's just that way.
Good enough. Hey, I got to run because I got to.
That is the way to do it.
All right.
Is to cut the rug out from
Yep.
under.
All right, Al. I got to run, buddy. I got time here on my side.
Okay,
so
thanks,
we'll.
Art.
Yep.
Have
Bye
a
now.
nice day, sir.
Yep.
Bye now.
Let me take a moment to talk about my friends at the Thalen Auto Group. You know, for years you've heard me touting the outstanding lineup of new cars from the Thalen dealerships up there on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. And they have a whole host of marques. They have Audi and Volkswagen and Subaru, Mazda, Honda, Kia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. And they have sold a lot of new vehicles even during the chip crisis. And every time they sell one, for the most part, they take in a nice, beautiful pre-owned vehicle, which they inspect, bring up to their standards before they put it out on the lot. So right now, because of that, they have one of the largest collections of pre-owned vehicles in the Great Lakes Bay region, because you have all those dealerships side by side right there on North Euclid Avenue. You can shop certified pre-owned vehicles and hundreds of other vehicles to choose from right there in one place. You don't have to spend days going from dealership to find a good selection. Stop at the Thalen Auto Group, Euclid Avenue in Bay City, or go online at thinkthalen.com and find that pre-owned vehicle that fits your needs. Stop in and talk to them today. And we'll be back to close out this hour in a moment.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier. In Empower Your Retirement, they talk about how a well thought out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving. Everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then a Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-826-9895. That's 800-826-9895. 800-826-9895.
All right, we're heading up toward the top of the hour. News from CBS and the local report coming along. Then we will be back to continue our conversation with more open phones during the next hour.
From the premier kitchen and bath gallery, Wsgw, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The UN General Assembly is going into session right now to discuss the Russia-Ukraine crisis. Secretary General Antonio Guterres.
We need restraint and reason. We need de-escalation now.
There are new reports of Russian military vehicles now inside breakaway regions of eastern Ukraine. Correspondent Charlie D'Agata Russian diplomats have left their mission.
We've learned the Russian government ordered the evacuation of all staff at the embassy here in the capital, and there are reports employees destroyed documents as they headed for the exits.
Get ready to pay more to drive and heat your home. The Russia-Ukraine crisis is expected to drive up already high fuel prices here in the U.S. CBS's Errol Barnett is in Washington.
Gas prices are continuing their upward march, with a gallon of regular now costing you an average of $3.53, and the cost of heating oil is also up. It's costing Americans 47% more now to warm up our homes with heating oil this winter than it did a year ago.
Taking a cue from drivers in Canada and setting out on the road to Washington, D.C. in hopes of arriving in time for President Biden's State of the Union speech next week. Stephanie Carvin, former national security analyst for the Canadian government.
The difference in the United States, of course, is that there aren't the same kinds of mandates that Canadians have been living through. So if there is a convoy movement in the United States, it's definitely not pandemic related. It's being driven by similar anti-government forces.
Every U.S. state except for Hawaii has now dropped or has plans to drop mask mandates. Ford is recalling 330,000 Mustangs that could have faulty backup cameras. Is in Detroit.
The 2015 through 17 model year Mustangs have rear camera displays that can become distorted or completely go blank. The problem has been traced to wiring that can become loose or damaged. 2 minor crashes have been reported, but no injuries.
A new report from the UN warns of a global crisis from higher temperatures and a drier earth. Correspondent Ben Tracy.
It says wildfires are projected to rise by 50% by the end of the century, and even the Arctic and other regions not normally affected by wildfires will face an elevated risk.
His music helped set the mood for 1967's Summer of Love. Skip the light, fandango. Procol Harum's frontman Gary Brooker has died. The band says he'd been receiving treatment for cancer. Brooker. I was feeling. This is CBS News.
Find your next great hire with Indeed. Our hiring platform makes it easy to attract, screen, and interview candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Business trip coming up soon? Finally, taking that much-needed vacation. MBS International Airport is your premier airport for personal and business travel. With services through Delta and United Airlines, you will feel upgraded as soon as you walk through the door. Book your flight today at mbsairport.org and let us help you see the world.
With this week's Spirit, Joey Bottino. Well, the Saginaw Spirit return home for a blast of a weekend on Friday and Saturday night. It's Ice Blast Weekend presented by Positive Results Downtown. Starting Friday night when the Spirit take on the Erie Otters at 7:05. Randy Bedour and Cody Lawrence will provide live music in the Red Room, as well as Mascot Mania and a free kids zone for kids at 5:30 inside the Red Room. On Saturday night, the annual Chili Cook-Off takes place from 5:30 to 7 o'clock, where the Witch Doctors will also be playing in the Red Room as well. Midland Brewing Company will be hosting a beer sampling in the Red Room. Midland Brewing Company will be hosting a beer sampling in the Budweiser Red Room from 5:30 to 7 o'clock. The puck drop for the Saginaw Spirit against the Erie Otters takes place at 7:05 on both Friday and Saturday night. For tickets, log on to SaginawSpirit.com. With this week's Spirit in 60, I'm Joey Bottino.
And now a small business setback. French stranger.
Monsieur, there was an accident. The windshield of your catering van is, how do you say, kaput? But Progressive has an extensive network of repair shops. Now, we think about the old days. Brave marin revient de guerre.
When things go wrong with your small business, it's comforting to know you have Progressive Commercial. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Croissance for everyone.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
It's 21 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Dave Maurer. The City of Midland's recycling contractor, Republic Services, has announced that it has postponed recycling collection for city residents due to inclement weather. At this time, collection has been postponed for both yesterday and today. Including customers in Midland. These customers should have their bins at the curb for collection on Thursday, February 23rd. Thursday, week 3, recycling customers will be collected on their regularly scheduled collection day. A city refuse collection for today will run as scheduled. Residents are encouraged to proceed with setting out refuse items for collection as they normally would today. The only thing delayed is the recycling. The federal government is providing the Great Lakes Bay region with more than $4.6 million to strengthen public transportation. Transit systems have suffered from decades of underinvestment, causing delays and disruptions for passengers. The bipartisan infrastructure law represents the largest ever investment in public transit across Michigan and the country. Saginaw will receive more than $743,000. Bay City gets more than $565,000, and Midland is slated to get more than $450,000. Lions receive more than $2.6 million. This amount represents only the first round of funding communities will receive. Funds can be applied to new buses, station repairs, and other safety initiatives. Saginaw County has approved funding to open a medical examiner's office. WSGW's Rick Antonio has more.
The $1 million move comes after ending the contract with the Michigan Institute of Forensic Science and Medicine last month. The contract was terminated after county commissioners determined they wanted to continue service with medical examiner Dr. Russell Bush, who the institute had terminated. While the cost to create its own examiner's office is initially higher, Controller Robert Bellman gave a breakdown of that cost and says it will give the county more control over services like forensic pathology, investigations, transportation, and cold storage.
Forensic pathology is about $475,000 of that million. Transportation is about another $300,000. Contracts with MEIs is about another $400,000. That gives you kind of the larger elements of that budget that were services provided by.
Quickly took most medical examiner and death-related services in-house after merely having to put them on hold due to the contract cancellation and an alleged $116,000 bill owed to the MIFSM. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Soon your windows will be open, letting in that fresh air, birds chirping, and the feeling of spring is finally here. Now is the time to take a look around and start planning the home renovations you have been waiting for. Hi, this is Mary Ann from Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth. We are excited anniversary this year and want you to celebrate with us. Let our amazing design team help you get your home ready for spring. Come check out our new carpet, hardwood, laminate, ceramic, window treatments, and more. Do it yourself or get quality installations from our very own installers with professional and personal service. Warden Interiors has a terrific selection of colors in California Ultra Ceramic paint, the toughest and most durable paint available. Our showroom has it all. Stop in to see us on North Main Street in Frankenmuth. Warden Interiors celebrating 60 years. We'll help you bring it all together.
WSGW 8. The February winter thaw has a few county road agencies activating seasonal weight restrictions across the state. Seasonal weight restrictions, sometimes called frost laws, are to protect Michigan's local roads from excess weight during periods when the roads are most vulnerable to damage. State law allows MDOT, counties, and municipalities to reduce truck weights and speeds on roads that are not built to accommodate heavy truck traffic in such conditions. During the weight restriction period, trucks traveling on posted or restricted roads must reduce speeds to 35 miles an hour and carry lighter loads, a 25% reduction on concrete roads and 35% reduction on roads. Roads are particularly vulnerable now in a few counties. Temperatures have allowed the surface to thaw, causing water to puddle on and under the road, while the lower levels remain frozen. The spongy surface directly under the roadbed does not provide optimal support, making the roadbed very vulnerable to cracking under heavy loads. State police are investigating a deadly fire in Saginaw County's Maple Grove Township. Central Dispatch reported the fire just after 3:30 Sunday morning. Crews responded to the scene in the 1500 block of Lincoln Road. Investigators say the home was occupied at the time of the fire. State police said the victim, a now identified as James Allen Brainerd, was located in the debris once the fire was put out. The cause of the fire is still undetermined and remains under investigation. Any witnesses are asked to contact the Michigan State Police Tri-City Post. Republican State Representative Timmy Beeson says he's working with colleagues on both sides of the aisle to bring a COVID-19 testing and treatment center to Bay County. Beeson says the average age of Bay County residents is 62 and a half, making it a logical place for one of the centers.
It takes the idea that COVID's going away, it makes us more responsible and realize that we're going to be getting time, and let's give our people in Michigan, and especially being that I have the oldest population, let's give them the opportunity to get through it with less chances of going to the hospital.
A $1.2 billion supplemental budget bill that passed in Lansing will go towards setting up 14 COVID testing and treatment centers across the state. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1011. I'm Dave Maurer.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Few spotty flurries early today, otherwise partial sunshine develops with temperatures holding rather steady. Winds out of the north per hour, gusting as high as 25. For tonight, mostly cloudy, a low near 14. Thursday, partial sunshine, a high of 26 degrees. Then by Friday, a chance for snow showers, cloudy and a high around 25. Saturday, skies will become mostly sunny. We'll see a high around 32. And Sunday, cloudy, a high of 31. By Monday, mostly sunny sky conditions, a high of 31. Tuesday, cloudy, high of 37. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Vujcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 20.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW from my Saginaw Spirit home studio, sponsored by Linda Shepherd at Pinnacle Realty for all of your residential and commercial real estate needs. Give Linda a call. Put her to work for you at 989-295. That's 989-295-7713. And either that or stop in and visit her at M46 and M47 inside the Point, which is the former ISD building. While you're there, check out Cafe 476 with its delicious soups, foods, and beverages just for you. Also, during this hour, we'll be hearing from Terry Henney. He is out and about today at a wheat meeting. We will find out more about that from Bath, Michigan. That will be later on in the hour. Meantime, this is an open line hour, whatever you would like to chat about. 989-752-6111 will be the number to call from wherever you are, because most companies don't charge you long distance roaming anymore. So it's pretty much a free call. To finish up what we were talking about last hour, we talked a little bit about Russia and Ukraine. And one correction to what Al told us, he said, well, it was $40 billion. Actually, it's $80 billion. And Russia is cut off from Western financing total. These still are not impactful sanctions. By that, I mean, they're not strong enough to stop Putin from doing whatever he's going to do. But there is unity in the NATO nations in Western Europe and the U.S., which could bring about some pretty harsh sanctions. And the way the president described it yesterday, Putin continues with this invasion, as he put it, of the Ukraine. The sanctions will stiffen. I say, why wait? Slap him on him now. We know what he's going to do. He's already done it once in the past, in 2014. What makes you think he's going to do it again? I say slap the maximum pain you can on Vladimir Putin, since he's already unilaterally declared 2 new countries in the world, believe it or not. So I think that's enough to move on and put sanctions on him. I'm going to call her though before the just before the hour left a note with us, which is kind of I chuckled a little bit when I read it because it said, "Why protect Ukraine's borders when we won't protect our own?" Think about that. Think about that. The crisis we have at our southern border needs to be addressed now, not later. But the answer to the question in reality is we live in one world where we have alliances, and those alliances place certain obligations on you as a nation. And if you're going to be a member of those alliances and something happens against the best interests of that alliance, then you take action. I think both need to be done. I think we need to address the Russian invasion of the Ukraine, but I do agree we need to do something about our southern borders. You cannot have a strong immigration policy if you don't have a strong border. And if you don't have borders, do you have a country? Are countries not defined by their borders? So are we just abandoning our southern border? Let's redraw the map so it includes all of those Central American and Mexico, and Mexico. Is that the idea? I don't think so. I don't think so. Anyway, I have a note here. We had mentioned this a while back. There is an Elvis tribute artist by the name of Jake Slater, who I know, and his family is from around this area, I think down in Chesaning or St. Charles or somewhere down there. And he was scheduled to have a concert, and it's going to be rescheduled now to March 3rd. And you can find out more information by calling Rebecca at 989-245-0290, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. 989-245-0290. It was a free concert, but you did have to reserve space, and there was a lunch that you could buy into also included. But again, it's been rescheduled to March 3rd. All right. Again, our lines are open. It's an open line hour. Whatever you'd like to chat about. I want to spend a moment here talking about a golfer. A golfer who had a brilliant career, turned 50 years old recently, but has apparently with his mouth shot himself in the foot. And that golfer is none other than Phil Mickelson. Apparently, and I am not privy to what he originally said, so I'm kind of I'm taking some of this out of context from what I heard on the Golf Channel and some other places. He had some harsh words for the PGA Tour and is involved in trying to create a new league called the Saudi League. The Saudi-backed, it would be the Saudi Arabia Super Golf League. And he issued yesterday a huge, long, apologetic statement that said, quote, "It was reckless. I offended people, and I'm deeply sorry for my choice of words." However, that's not all he said. He said, went on to this whole long thing. What he did not do was step away from the notion of a super league backed by Saudi Arabia. And I have no idea where that stands. But he's going to step back and work on being the man I want to be, is what he says. Apparently, this was pretty serious stuff because I happened to catch part of this at the Golf Channel yesterday, and they were talking not in a way which would be leading one to believe that they were supportive of Phil. I mean, they came down pretty hard on him, to say the least. So we'll see where it goes. We will take a break. When we come back from this break, we'll hear from Terry Henney, who is out and about, and then we will get back to our phones.
Since L&M Appliance Center has been selling the best appliances to fit every budget.
We interrupt to bring you breaking news from Cranes.
Any minute now, they're expecting a truck to arrive with more inventory, and then there will be a sale.
A sale on what?
Could be washers, dryers, dishwashers, refrigerators, freezers. Just get here to find out what the sale will actually be on.
So, Cranes L&M Appliance Center is having a big sale, but they don't know on what yet.
And remember, they're offering financing options and manufacturer rebates as well.
Come see Kelly, Eric, and Kelsey at Cranes L&M Appliance Center, 3260 Bay Road in Saginaw.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do.
And now, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you roommates. Go forth.
That's not the vow you took. But if struggles with CPAP have you and your spouse sleeping in separate rooms, it might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire works inside the body with just the click of a remote. That's right, just a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is...
Stocks opened higher a day after the S&P 500 slumped to correction levels, down 10% from its record. Investors are looking at upbeat earnings, especially from a major automaker. Stellantis, parent company of Jeep, Dodge, Fiat, Chrysler, and Peugeot, saw its profit jump last year, and its forecast for this year is upbeat. Its finance chief, Richard Palmer, says the semiconductor shortage eased at the end of last year. Home improvement chain Lowe's quarter top forecasts, and it is upbeat about this year. TJX, parent company of TJ Maxx, saw its profit improve in the recent quarter, but Wall Street was expecting even stronger results. And Target says it will test Starbucks curbside pickup at some of its stores. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in...
Inflation just broke a nearly 40-year record thanks to Biden's out-of-control spending, and every second you are losing more of your hard-earned savings. But you can fight back. With a gold IRA from Birch Gold, you can protect your retirement from this outright theft. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bannon, and I'm one of the Birch Gold's many happy customers. To learn how to set up your own gold IRA, text the word SHELTER to 989898. Do it now, today. Text SHELTER to 989898.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. Clean your nose with Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
This view was worth a hike.
Right? And it's a good way to stay on top of my health.
Yes, I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. Have you screened for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. It's more treatable when caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and it's used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92%.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com.
I'm in.
Going wide, cuts out in front of the Red Wing goal, slows it down, shoots, Pickard the save, and the Red Wings win the game in a shootout.
The Red Wings play 7:15 tonight on 790 News Radio WSGW.
Good morning, everyone. We're broadcasting today from the Michigan Wheat Program's annual winter grower meeting. The event kicked off this morning about 8:30. It'll go until 3:30. We're broadcasting from the Eagle Eye Conference Center on Chandler Road in Bath. This year's grower meeting, continental breakfast, registration. It's a great opportunity to visit industry exhibits, and it is for the first time since 2019. Registration has been going on. Good crowd. We're anticipating more people to come in as we go through the morning hours due to the road conditions. So if you are heading in this direction, be very, very careful. Roads, for the most part, are just wet. They've been treated, but still, take your time. Give yourself a little bit extra to get here to the Michigan Wheat Program's annual winter grower meeting. We'll have more details on some of the featured speakers and talk a little bit more about the industry as well during our farm program a little bit later this morning. Our broadcast brought to you by the folks at Nutrient Ag Solutions.
All right, thanks, Terry. We'll look for your reports throughout the morning. In the meantime, let's get back to our phones. Paul is in Saginaw. Paul, good morning.
Morning, Art. I got two issues to talk about. Issue one is Putin. Issue two is domestic abuse that you talked about with your previous guest in the previous hour. On Putin, did you see the PBS investigative report on Putin? It was either yesterday or day before.
No.
On TV. Well, they mentioned that that he's 5'5". He has an inferiority complex. That's why he takes off his shirt to show his chest and physique, how manly he is. And that he married at a young age, had 2 kids, divorced his wife, and then had a girlfriend.
So what? What's that got to do with invading? What's that got to do with invading the Ukraine?
Well, they also were able to determine approximately he has amassed over the last 20 years $630 billion with a B.
That's been reported.
That all over the world. So $80 million isn't going to do anything to interrupt anything that he wants to do.
Not him personally, no. And I agree, it's not, those sanctions aren't strong enough.
Right.
But none of that other stuff has anything to do with, how tall he is and all that stuff. Come on. Let's talk about the reality of the politics of the world. I mean, he may have Napoleon complex, but so what?
Right.
So what?
Yeah. Okay, and now the other issue, domestic abuse. Particularly in a marriage, you have one person who, typically the abuser, either physically and or verbally, and then you have the victim. But what you don't hear too much about is sometimes what the victim does causes the abuse. For instance, whatever comes out of the mouth of the victim may cause the abuse, as well as maybe the victim's action or inaction on an issue may also cause the abuse. Does the court?
Is that an excuse? Is that an excuse for abuse?
No, it's not. It's
well,
not
that's what the court's going to take into account.
But that's what I wondered. Does the court take that into account, that the victim could be the cause of the abuse?
No. Yes, I mean, that's a cop out. Most of the domestic abuse isn't caused by the victim. Occasionally, yeah, sure, probably like everything else in the world. There are examples. Most domestic abuse, though, is not caused by the victim. And, and the courts look at the whole thing when they get the picture in front of them. It's their responsibility to do that because you're innocent until proven guilty. So they have to look at all sides of it.
Right. Because sometimes, like say in a car accident, you have someone who did the accident, and then you have someone who caused the accident, but the person who did the accident gets the citation, where the person who was the cause of the accident gets away scot-free.
Yep, sure, it happens.
So-
Nothing's perfect.
Right. But sometimes they should take all that into account before they do all these, citations and punishments and stuff like that.
They don't punish anybody until there's a trial.
Right.
So, all right, good enough.
All right.
Fair enough.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
All right, Saginaw Bay City, 989-752-6111. Actually, all over it. I'm so used to saying Saginaw Bay City. Now it's just universal. 989-752-6111. And Chris is in Saginaw. Chris, good morning.
Art, my friend, how are you?
Hey, we're doing well.
I would just like to say that I blame our current administration on this whole thing with Biden. If he would have kept the flow of oil going in this country and took care of our own border and not authorized Biden for the pipeline to Germany, I don't think we'd even have an issue.
Well, you may be right. I don't, you got to turn your radio down, Chris. I'm getting all kinds of feedback from you.
How's that?
Much better. The issues you bring up are valid. He never, I don't think, should have begun to shut down our energy industry, put restrictions on it, and at the same time he's approving a gas pipeline for Russia. He's shutting down the Keystone pipeline in this country. So I don't know whether any of that. I don't know if any of that would have prevented Putin from doing what he's doing, but I think it would have been the right thing to do for us.
Well, I think, and you're right. It might not have prevented him, but it certainly would have had us in a better situation to handle this issue if we didn't have to worry about our energy.
No, we would have had more surplus to send overseas. So.
Oh yeah, I mean that it's demand, supply and demand.
Yep.
You know? And then he upset the Prince of Saudi Arabia when he first got into office. He wanted them to admit, the Prince of Saudi Arabia, that he was involved in the killing of that news guy in Turkey, and they wouldn't do it. He said, "No, I wasn't." So then he restricted the agreement of sending airplane parts for his Air Force and planes, and then the Saudi Arabian prince responded by reducing his capacity on oil production.
Yeah.
Rocket scientists to figure it out. You know what I mean? I have to say something, and I just, I worry about this country because I'm an old guy. I'm about your age, okay? I mean, I'm not going to war. You know what I mean? But I sincerely worry that he might do something stupid. I mean, other than the other thing.
No, I don't. I'm not that worried about it. I don't think that's true. But
and I hope you're right, Art. I hope you're right.
I think that I don't know. I mean, it's hard to predict Putin, so I don't even try. So, all right.
But the previous administration pretty much had him on the ropes. Okay.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I don't think this administration has handled it well, but that's my view. All right.
Okay, take it easy, Art.
Take care, buddy.
Art, next time I call you, I'll let you know if we're going to have the Greek Festival.
Yeah. Yeah, let me know, or is it going to be drive-through again?
They're talking about the whole
Good.
enchilada.
Good. Okay. All right,
Take it
buddy.
easy, Art.
Take care, Chris.
Yeah.
Bye-bye now. All right, Ted, hang on. We'll get to you next after these notes here on the Art Lewis Show.
Are you looking for employment? Something new? somewhere where being happy is encouraged. Come check out Bay Valley Resort and Conference Center. The atmosphere is light, staff is fun, and we're always looking for enthusiastic people to join our team. We are in the process of making Bay Valley a go-to place for everyone, and we need people that want to help us grow. The Bay Valley Resort and Conference Center is hiring for the following positions: bar manager, servers and bartenders, banquet servers, banquet setup, housekeeping, front desk representatives, groundkeepers, and maintenance. All you have to do is stop by and grab an application. On-the-spot interviews will be available. For more info, call 989-686-3500.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Rob tried to manage his constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating day after day. After realizing it was irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, he found another way and finally said yes to adding Linzess.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
The WS Team Show.
Following Super Bowl LVI and the Rams win over the Bengals, highlighted by the play of quarterback Matthew Stafford, we show some love for Matthew. I mean, come on, isn't that storybook all those years that he told for our Detroit Lions, and then a trade, which is why they traded for him.
It is. Did you see, though, how many times in that drive how Stafford threaded the needle? I mean, and he managed to get it in there.
And how many times do we see him do that in Detroit? Last drives of the game. Well, congratulations to Matthew Stafford and family and all that.
A lot of Michigan-based fans seem to have wanted Stafford to win it, and kind of living through that as being our quarterback for so many years.
Kind of like how we Tiger fan Justin Verlander win a World Series with another team. We're happy to see him do it, but wished it could have been here.
Maybe 1 year.
Maybe 1 year.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW. The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
All right, back with you, and let's get back to our phones. We've got Ted in Midland up next, and then we'll get to Chris and Joe. Ted, good morning.
Hey, how are you today?
Doing well.
First time, long time, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for letting me in to the conversation.
You're welcome.
I'm a Detroit comic. I took Detroit, made it my name, Ted Rock. I do blue collar comedy, up in a 80s style relationship with my definition of domestic.
You're breaking up a little bit. I'm catching pieces of what you're saying. I don't know if you're just...
Sir? Oh, is this better?
Yep. Try that.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. In Detroit in the 70s, the domestic violence laws today were like our Sunday. That's our breakfast. So there's a cycle of abuse that we need to stop. And sometimes the victims they can't do that. So I think your last caller almost sounded victim blaming in a way. But I just want to talk about the cycle of abuse, and somebody's got to stop it, man.
Yeah.
And the victims can perpetuate the violence because that's a safety, man.
Yeah, and there is a thing, Ted, and I've heard mental health people talk about this. Victims, in some cases, have a tendency when they get out of one relationship to go right back into another relationship just like it.
Well, 100%. So listen, but children that are very nice and as an abused person wouldn't have wanted them to be.
Yeah, you're starting to break up again.
Softness is not weakness, and victims need help. So that was that point. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
absolutely. Thanks for calling, Ted.
So
Appreciate it.
can I leave you with one subject to talk about, the border, real quick?
Yeah.
Maybe we're going to dissolve the border and just take over Mexico, and this is the soft way to do it.
Or does it happen the other way around?
Oh, no, I didn't even think about that.
All right. Give that some thought. We'll talk again. Take care. Bye-bye now. Chris is in Saginaw. Different Chris. Good morning.
How you doing, Art?
Good.
Throw another subject at you. I was watching the History Channel about how the plane flew in the White House. I think it was in Clinton era. I can't remember.
The private plane, yeah.
Yeah. And then how they replaced all the windows with bulletproof glass.
Yep.
How a 50 cal couldn't get through it.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
How did a 2x4 get into there on the insurrection thingy?
Well, no, that was the White House, not the Capitol.
Yeah.
They put that glass in the White House.
That was in the White House.
Yeah, the Capitol is where the 2x4s went through, right?
Okay.
So the glass wasn't the same.
Oh, it was a different building. Okay.
Yeah, different building altogether.
Why didn't they beef up that place?
They may have now.
Was gonna happen.
They may have now.
I hope so.
Yeah, no, it was different. But I do remember that incident very well. So
yeah, we should have beefed up everything.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, well, thanks for the snow.
You're
It's
welcome.
snowing.
My pleasure.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. And let's talk to Joe in Fenton. Joe, good morning.
The thing that's been bugging me, the state budget, $80-some billion, and we're going to give away all these retention bonuses and all this to mostly government employees. The rest of us can, kind of fend for ourselves. But they fraudulently gave out over $8 billion in fraudulent unemployment claims. Nobody lost their job, and nobody seems to be doing anything about it. It's just like, oh, well.
Well, they did change the head of the UIA. I mean, that did happen. And those were federal dollars, not state dollars. But yeah, there were very little consequences. And it's not going to be, they are not going to get that money back, apparently. So, yeah.
Well, I've done some computer work, but I know enough that if I'm going to give out money to a group of people, I have a reference number in my computer database, like a Social Security number, that you have paid Michigan income tax or whatever.
Yeah.
That makes you viable, that I know you're an actual person, and the database is somewhat correct. They didn't run the file through there first?
Although they were giving the money to actual people. They were just giving them too much money. They gave money to actual people. And many of these people have now gotten letters, which they don't have to worry about now, but they got letters saying, oh, you owe us, you have to repay all this money after the fact. It wasn't, part of it, there's a little piece of it that was probably fraud, but most of it was legitimate, just overpayments to people.
To the tune of $8 billion.
Whatever the number was. Yeah, it was a lot of money. But you got to remember how many people were laid off and collecting unemployment during that time in the pandemic in 2020. It was a ton of people, more than anybody ever perceived.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. But if you know who those people are, you got an income tax system that takes care of that, or earned income check credits and all that other kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, you would think so, but garbage in, garbage out with a computer, you also know that, right?
Well, I do know that, but I can find who I'm looking for.
Well, they found them. They knew who they were. They gave them too much money.
Well, I read an article that said that the vice president of Nigeria got $150 unemployment money.
I have no idea about that. But I'm willing to accept the fact. I'm willing to accept the fact that there were some fraudulent claims. Everybody knows that. That's not unusual. But the bulk of it was not based on fraudulent claims. The bulk of it was just handing out too much money. So
and nobody's responsible for any of that.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
That was my only gripe. I'm looking at, okay, they're going to spend $80 billion in the next fiscal year in Michigan, and they gave away $8 billion of it.
Well, no, it was federal money though. It wasn't state money they gave away. But still, it's money, and it's money from us, because all the money, whether it's federal, state, or local, comes from us. So it was our money.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Good enough, Joe. Hey, you betcha. Thanks. Bye-bye now. We'll take a break. We come back. We'll also hear from Terry Henney again, who is out and about in Bath, Michigan.
Annette Glenn shares the values of families in mid-Michigan. American Conservative Union ranked Annette's voting record 6th most conservative in the state house. We need Annette fighting for families in the state senate. Paid for by Annette Glenn for state senate.
Here's NFL legend Terry Bradshaw.
This is it. Your last chance. Publishers Clearinghouse.
There are just days left to enter to win $5,000 a week forever on February 28th.
Yep, you got to enter PCH.com before it's too late.
Win and you get $5,000 a week for your life. Then after that, someone you choose gets $5,000 a week for their life.
Real people really win. It's your last chance to enter, people. Come on, let's go. $5,000 a week forever. Last chance. Enter now at PCH.com.
Entries due 2/26. No purchase necessary. Void or prohibited.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness? Modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something? Your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
That dinner was delicious. What's next?
I'm thinking just the check.
Do you frequently have gas, bloating, diarrhea, stomach pain, or loose oily stools after eating? One or more of these symptoms could be a sign of exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, and it may be time to talk to your doctor.
If you have EPI, Creon may be right for you. Creon, pancrelipase, is an oral prescription medication that treats EPI. Creon replaces enzymes you may be missing to help you break down food properly.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosis colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Do not chew capsules or contents as this may cause mouth irritation. Tell your doctor if you have unusual or severe stomach pain, bloating, trouble passing stool, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, worsening of painful swollen joints, or allergic reactions. Other side effects may include changes in blood sugars, gas, dizziness, or sore throat and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Talk to your doctor about Creon, the #1 prescribed EPI treatment, and visit gocreon.com. That's GOCREON.com, or call 1-800-633-9110.
As we mentioned a little bit earlier, we're broadcasting today from the Eagle Eye Conference Center on Chandler Road in Bath, just a little bit of ways from Lansing, where today, for the first time since 2019, the Michigan Wheat Program is holding its annual winter grower meeting. We had a welcome this morning from Dave Mickelson, who's president of the National Association of Wheat Growers and lives right here. Dennis Pennington kicked off the program with a look at the new Great Lakes Yield Enhancement Network pilot program. And they did have a recognition of several award winners here so far this morning. Coming up, we're going to be taking a look again at Dennis's presentation of what Yield Enhancement Network found for Michigan wheat. And then coming up a little bit later on this afternoon, there'll be a program update. There'll be program awards. The keynote presentation will be Dr. Dave Hooker from the University of Guelph, Ontario in Canada. He's going to be talking about what's missing in your wheat production. That and a whole lot more. Plus, there are RUP and CCA credits available to growers as well, as we continue to feature some of the things going on at the Michigan Wheat Program's annual meeting. Our coverage brought to you today by the folks at Nutrient Ag Solutions.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
The WSGW online poll, Girl Scout cookies. The season is recognized nationally from January through April. Did you know that each Girl Scout Council contracts with one of 2 licensed bakers whose recipes and ingredients could slightly differ? That's why some cookies look the same but have 2 different names. This year, officially 12 cookies are listed by the Girl Scouts online. Our poll question, what is your favorite Girl Scout cookie? If you go into our poll, you'll see all the answers. The answers do include Adventurefuls, caramel chocolate chip, lemonades, lemon ups, peanut butter patties, peanut butter sandwiches, Samoas, shortbread, s'mores, Thin Mints, Toastier, and Toffee-tastic.
Well done.
Right.
Well, thank you. Head online to WSW.com, scroll down the homepage, find the online poll box, and you can vote for your favorite Girl Scout cookie flavor that way. So now you know what we're all hungry for right now.
Yes, right. Very.
I will buy a box or 2.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
Tonight, it's Michigan Wolverines basketball. The Maize and Blue host the dangerous Rutgers Scarlet Knights in Ann Arbor tonight. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. with tip-off at 7 on 790 News Radio WSGW. Go Blue.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show with open phones for the remainder of the hour. Take me out to the ball game if they settle their dispute. Oh, wow. Boy, I remember back to 1995 when there was another long stoppage and baseball took it on the shorts. And this has been the 84th day of this lockout now. Of course, it's been since the season was over till now, so it hasn't affected anything except for players reporting to spring training. That's been delayed a little bit. But if it goes much longer, this walkout is liable to affect opening day. Personally, now, I grew up a baseball fan. I grew up a Yankees fan until Steinbrenner bought the team, and then I became a Detroit fan. Even in their worst times, I'm a Detroit fan. And I love baseball. But baseball, I don't believe, is in a position to tick off the American public anymore. You know, it used to be, it was America's game. Baseball was the national pastime. And in a way, in a little bit of a way, it still is, but it is nowhere near in perception as important as it used to be. Now that the NFL has really come back into its own, auto racing and NASCAR is the huge sport. Basketball is doing very well. Baseball has had its struggles. And I don't think this is going to do any good. You got millionaires fighting billionaires. And, the public is going to move on. And there's a lot of stuff the public doesn't understand or want to know about in here. Minimum salaries, which had been $775,000 this season, and $25,000 annual increases for a 5-year deal to $875 in 2026. The union instead proposed a $30,000 rise each year. Come on, guys. You're playing a game. Now, I can remember, do you remember the great sportscaster in Saginaw, Art Neal? I once chatted with Art on the air about this, about how much is too much when it comes to what we pay sports stars. And Art had just the perfect answer. You get what you get. You get whatever you can negotiate. There's a giver and a taker. And if you say, I want $5 million, and the guy on the other side says, you got $5 million, you win. If you say, I want $100 million, and they give you $100 million, you win. In other words, he didn't want to see any caps, artificial caps, placed on these salaries. And in principle, I agree with that. But I also have to ask, at what point is too much? Because it's a one-upmanship game. If Joe Blow negotiated for $100 million, I'm better. I want $101 million, or I want $120 million, and that's what happens. So both sides are trying to come to terms on how much, and most of this is about money. Most of this is about money. So, yes, the players go onto the field and they're responsible for driving the income. But maybe everybody ought to take less and they lower their ticket prices. Ooh, what a concept. Not going to happen. But I hope they stop shooting themselves in the foot. I hope they come to terms and get this settled, and settled soon. We'll be back to close out the hour.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal for the Bearded Axe in Saginaw is sold out. They offer hourly times for axe throwing, ninja stars, and tomahawks. Bearded Axe is a local veteran-owned business. They're located at 4375 Bay Road in Saginaw. And don't forget to keep checking back at RocketGrabPlus.com for more deals.
.com. Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do.
And now, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you roommates. Go forth.
That's not the vow you took. But if struggles with CPAP have you and your spouse sleeping in separate rooms, it might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire works inside the body with just the click of a remote. That's right, just a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
TrackBone wants to know, are you an influencer? A big live streamer? No? Then guess what? You don't need an endless... Just the right amount of data with TrackBone's $40 unlimited talk and text smartphone plan. Now with 8 gigs of high-speed data in unlimited carryover on America's largest, most dependable network, now with 5G. Get the data you need at the price you want. TrackBone Wireless. Now you're in control. Available at major retailers. 5G compatible device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at trackphone.com.
Check out the WSGW Sports Broadcast page on WSGW.com. Want to know when and which WSGW station you can hear the Tigers, Red Wings, Michigan football and basketball, Saginaw Spirit hockey, and SVSU football? Click on the Sports Broadcast box on WSGW.com.
All right, that'll wrap it up for this edition of the Art Lewis Show. Thanks for being with us. We'll be back tomorrow with lots more. By the way, tomorrow, we are going to be chatting, and let me make sure I get this right. Otis Williams of The Temptations is going to join us for about 10 minutes tomorrow. They got a new album out. We'll talk about the history of The Temptations with him. All of that coming up. Focus today. Westside Decorating Center will be our focus. That comes along next.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. Now that the U.S. and other countries have imposed new sanctions, the next move is Vladimir Putin's. Will Russian troops push deeper into Ukraine? CBS's Cammie McCormick.
The latest satellite images show Russia continues to deploy more troops along Ukraine's borders and bring in supplies and logistics. A new field hospital has been set up along Ukraine's eastern border. Also heavy equipment for transporting tanks and artillery. The Maxar images also appear to show a large area being cleared for even more Russian.
AT is in Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, where people are making contingency plans.
They're still definitely hopeful that the worst won't happen, but they've now got a plan for if the bullets start flying.
Opening statements in the trial of the only former Louisville police officer charged in connection with the raid that killed Breonna Taylor nearly 2 years ago. Brett Hankerson is charged with firing into the apartment of Taylor's neighbors. Prosecutor Barbara Maines Whaley.
This case is about Cody and his partner Chelsea, who was 7 months pregnant at the time, and their 5-year-old son, who was sleeping in the bedroom closest to.
And protests have been broken up, and now some American truckers are vowing to make a point about vaccine mandates and other issues. CBS's Scott McFarland.
The head of one of these convoys tells me the goal is to slow or stop traffic right here. The Washington Capitol Beltway, a 64-mile highway that surrounds the nation's capital. They say they'll largely try to stay outside the city limits to avoid any run-ins with federal law enforcement. So Virginia and Maryland State Police tell me they're on alert.
Some truckers are due to set off in California in a few hours. One state is looking to clear the way for vehicles of the future, as we hear from CBS's Jennifer Kuiper.
The newly created Future Mobility is looking into more drone delivery, autonomous vehicles, and even flying cars. Governor Asa Hutchinson tells CBS News Radio what's at the forefront
is the electric vehicles. We've got to invest in the electric charging stations.
Cyrus Sagari will lead the council, bringing together private investors, big corporations like Walmart, and universities.
And figure out what are the roadblocks that are going to keep us from accelerating and continue to expand the benefits of these technologies.
Overseas in Britain, musician Gary Brooker has died. The vocalist and keyboardist in the band Procol Harum, which had that smash hit in 1960. Had cancer. He was 76 years old. Wall Street, right now the Dow is down 78 points. This is CBS News.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out our deals going on right now from 120 Fitness, Uplift Creative Center, the Salt Room and Wellness Spa, Joyce's Purple Palette, Woody's Hot Dogs, Fish and More, and the Hamptons Boutique Tanning and Salon. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not accurate and have high probabilities for false negative readings. New COVID strands are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Whoever said the more the merrier sure wasn't in charge of hiring new employees, because the more unqualified candidates you have for a job, the more difficult your hiring can be. And that can make the process, well, not so merry for you. Thankfully, there's ZipRecruiter, which you can try right now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology finds the right candidates for your job. But unlike other sites, ZipRecruiter goes deeper. ZipRecruiter matches people with people, and you can personally invite your top choices to apply, because the perfect hire is more than a list of qualifications. ZipRecruiter makes hiring the right person easy, and that'll keep you and everyone else very merry.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's right, free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
It's 20 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. After nearly losing service a month ago, Saginaw County is taking another step to bring its medical examiner service in-house. WSGW's Rick Antonio has more.
Following a contract cancellation with the Michigan Institute of Forensic Science and Medicine and an alleged overdue bill of $116,000, Saginaw County Commissioners approved a resolution to provide just over $1 million to fund a medical examiner's office of its own. Services being contracted through the office include forensic pathology, investigations, transportation, and cold storage, and Controller Robert Bellman says once those service contracts are in place, the annual cost should be a bit less after determining how much of each service would be needed.
$1 million price tag. $300,000 to hire a private company to pick up our deceased. I can provide that same service if I get enough MEIs that I've already budgeted for at $450,000. Once we get all the services in place, have the contracts in place, that number will get refined to what it will be on an annual basis actually.
The county had previously approved a 10-year contract with the MIFSM in 2019, ending it after the firing of medical examiner Dr. Russell Bush last November. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
Prosecutors are hoping to keep a 15-year-old boy charged with fatally shooting 4 fellow students at Oxford High School held in an adult jail and killing a girl at the school. Text messages to a friend and journal items were offered by prosecutors Tuesday as reasons to keep Ethan Crumbly from being transferred to a juvenile facility. Oakland County Assistant Prosecutor Markeisha Washington said Crumbly outlined a plan to stalk, rape, torture, and ultimately kill a female classmate. Crumbly is charged as an adult with first-degree murder, assault with intent to murder, terrorism, and gun charges in the November 30th shooting at Oxford High School. WSGW News Time is 11:07.
We've all seen how unpredictable life can be, but here's one thing Covenant Center for the Heart is here for you. More people in the Great Lakes Bay region trust their hearts to Covenant Healthcare than any other area hospital. Why? Because we have the most comprehensive cardiac care in the region. From diagnosis in our chest pain center, to the region's first structural heart disease program, to our cardiac rehabilitation and wellness center. And because we keep our patients safe, Covenant has been awarded an A rating for patient safety from the Leapfrog Group 7 times running. So if you have an existing heart condition, call your cardiologist. If you experience symptoms like chest pain or shortness of breath, call 911 Emergency Care Center. Don't delay care. Life and hearts can be unpredictable. Trust yours to Covenant Healthcare, the leader for extraordinary care.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. An ice storm left road conditions treacherous Tuesday in the northern Lower Peninsula. The National Weather Service posted an ice storm warning for several counties, including the cities of Traverse City, Kalkaska, and Grayling, through midnight Tuesday night. It says motorists should plan on ice-covered roadways impacting the evening commute, and travel was nearly impossible at times in some areas. It said vehicles were sliding off the road even when stopped. A 59-year-old man has died after the snowmobile he was operating collided with a logging truck on a road in the Upper Peninsula. State police say Dean Daggett of Conackey was pronounced dead at the scene of Tuesday's crash in Mackinac City's Moran Township. Police said that the snowmobile went around a blind curve when it collided with the truck. The truck's driver wasn't injured. The crash was under investigation. State Representative Timmy Beeson of Bangor Township says he's working on a bipartisan basis to bring one of 14 COVID treatment centers approved in a $1.2 billion supplemental budget bill to Bay County. Representative Beeson says Bay County's population makes it a good fit for one of the centers.
We have the oldest aging population of constituents. My average age is 62 and a half, and that is perfect for one of the 14 sites coming to Michigan. So I think that with the help of my county executive and our local health department, we can hopefully get the first one up and going in our Bay City.
Beeson, a Republican, says he believes we'll be dealing with COVID for a long time and having a treatment center in Bay out of the hospital. How sick you get from COVID-19 may depend on your zip code, according to a new report. Here's more from Dr. Deanna Lights.
Patients with COVID-19 from socially vulnerable areas were sicker when they got to the hospital compared to those from more privileged areas, according to a study from the University of Michigan. But it was a different story when patients were discharged from the hospital. Those disparities disappeared. Dr. Renu Tipernini is an internal medicine physician and researcher.
For those patients, even once they were hospitalized, they did okay once they received that care. The patients from those higher are no more likely to die in the hospital, and they were actually just as likely to be able to return home after the hospitalization.
And that was Dr. Deanna Lights. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom, 752-0790. It's 11:11. I'm Ann Williams.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Few spotty flurries early today, otherwise partial sunshine develops with temperatures holding rather steady. Winds out of the northwest at 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 25. For tonight, mostly cloudy, a low near 14. Thursday, partial sunshine, a high of 26 degrees. Friday, a chance for snow showers, cloudy, and a high around 25. Saturday, skies will become mostly sunny. We'll see high around 32. And Sunday, cloudy, high of 31. By Monday, mostly sunny sky conditions, a high of 31. Tuesday, cloudy, high of 37. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 22.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 190 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Focus here on WSGW from my Saginaw Spirit Home studio. I'm Art Lewis, and Focus is brought to you by RoofMax, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out about RoofMax online at roofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. RoofMax, spelled with 2 X's. Today we focus on an ever-expanding business in Saginaw, and that is Westside Decorating Center. We're going to talk about that with its owner, Mike Stoddard. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Art.
And one of the decorators who will come to your home and help you make decisions on good decorating. We say good morning to Sonia.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, Mike, let's start with the fact that I mentioned you're expanding and working on it right now. How is the expansion project going, and when do you see completion?
Yeah, it's going very well. If people suite next to us where the Saginaw Spirit we're located. Walls are coming down over there. Carpet's getting torn up. New flooring will be going in. New lights. Kind of a whole new remodel over there. I expect to have it done in a couple months, probably May, June, around there.
And that will expand not only your showroom, but your office space and your storage, right?
Correct. We'll have more showroom, more storage, and have room for more products.
All right, so let's talk about products. What's new at Westside Decorating? Anything new on the shelves right now?
Well, we've got to definitely have our ceramic paint. That's been a staple at Westside for a long time. A lot of people don't know ceramic paint, which is extremely washable and durable. Comes in all the different sheens, anywhere from a flat finish all the way up to semi-gloss. That does come in exterior as well, so I know we're a couple months away from that yet, but that's a very big seller for us. We have, of course, our countertop paints. Our Gianni marble and granite countertop paints are still hot. And I've heard that there's a shortage on spray paint in a lot of stores, but we've got plenty. So if anyone needs spray paint, stop in. We've got tons and tons on our shelves here.
Sonia, let me ask, if somebody is in the process or thinking about doing some decorating around the house, maybe new paint, flooring, what have you, what services do you provide?
Well, we actually do in-home consultations, or we'll meet in the store if it's been a while. And I kind of recommend that if it's been around 10 years since you painted or did anything, because everything has changed. So we can help coordinate wallpapers and floors to paint colors. There's so much that we can help with. And it's all just changed so much that you've really got to see what's out there and see what catches your eye.
And that's true in all categories, isn't it? The paint's changed, the flooring has changed, there's new types of flooring. Describe some of that new flooring.
So new flooring, we've been doing, well, it's not new anymore, but a lot of rigid core, which is the click together waterproof floors that have their own attached underlayment. So it allows us to go over a multitude of surfaces, from old sheet vinyl to ceramic tile, or even just maybe a little uneven wood. It gives us sort of a leverage over the old glue down floors, because we're not having to add the cost of that before we can put it down. So we're doing quite a bit of that, and noticing a trend more in more of the natural wood tones coming back rather than the grays and the darker colors, but lighter, clearer, more modern, less rustic, rigid core, which basically looks like real wood or marble.
All right, hang on, both of you. We're going to take a quick break. Come back. We're talking to Mike and Sonia from Westside Decorating Center, located at State at Weineke in Saginaw Township. More on that when we return. We'll also hear from Terry Henney.
Members First Credit Union is here to help you consolidate debt and get rid of your financial save money by refinancing high-interest loans or credit cards you have elsewhere with Members First. Pay them off with funds from a Members First Credit Union personal loan, or turn multiple due dates and payments into just one personal loan by consolidating your debt. Stop by one of the 11 Members First Credit Union branches or visit mfcu.net for details. Some restrictions may apply. Loan subject to credit approval. Federally insured by the NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness? Modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? Nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose, where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Here's NFL legend Terry Bradshaw.
This is it. Your last chance to win big money from Publishers Clearinghouse.
There are just days left to enter to win $5,000 a week forever on February 28th.
Yep, you got to enter PCH.com before it's too late.
Win and you get $5,000 a week for your life. When you choose gets $5,000 a week for their life.
Real people really win. It's your last chance to enter, people. Come on, let's go. $5,000 a week forever. Last chance. Enter now at PCH.com.
Entries due 2/26. No purchase necessary. Void or prohibited.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Podcasting today from the Michigan Wheat Growers Annual Meeting in person. Dennis Pennington, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Terry?
Hey, we're doing great. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's great to be here face-to-face finally. It's been a long time, and I think all the people here are happy to see each other and be face-to-face and talk.
I see on your label on the front, it's MSU Wheat Guru.
Yes, Jody did that for me. She said my name or my title was too long to put on there, so yeah.
Yeah, you're one of those guys have many asterisks and behind. Real quick, good turnout.
Yeah, great turnout. We had just over 250 register for the event. So we're right on track with where we were pre-pandemic. So yeah,
And
great turnout.
you covered some pretty important stuff this morning.
We had our Yield Enhancement Network project. We had 3 members that were part of that last year in our pilot project sit up on a panel, and the audience just asked them questions about what did they do, what did you learn, what did you see, what data are you collecting, and it was a great discussion about wheat agronomy. So the audience has been very engaged. It's been a great program here so far today.
And Dennis, we'll be touching base in the coming weeks on how the wheat is progressing and some things that our producers should be looking at. But overall, there's a lot of interest, and hopefully we'll hang on to the acres that were put in last fall.
Yes, I hope so too. And I think the warmer weather we had late in the season in November last year, wheat that was planted late and maybe didn't look so good, it is starting to green up, and I've had several growers. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully a good crop this next year.
Lots more coming up on the Farm Show. That'll be coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
And back with you from my Saginaw Spirit home studio. We're talking to Mike and Sonia from Westside Decorating. I want to talk for a minute, Mike, and this may be a little early yet, but I want to talk about outdoor decks. I have one. I'll use mine as an example. It's probably, 4 or 5 years old. It was made with treated lumber. And I noticed now that the steps and some of the decking are getting this green cast on them. It almost looks like moss, but yet it's not moss-like, if you know what I mean. Is there a way to clean that? And when can you do it?
Yeah. So as soon as the weather gets a little warmer, obviously, like you said, a little too soon now, but when it hits 50, 60 degrees, a good time to get out and start doing some cleaning. That could either be, like you said, a little bit of mold mildew. TSP and bleach and water will remove that. TSP is trisodium phosphate. If it's more on the gray side of things, which we see quite a bit on decks, that's actually dead wood fiber, and that's just it's almost like a sunburn that wood gets, and that needs to be removed chemically with a solution called a brightener, which we sell here. And that will remove that dead wood fiber, and then you can put another clear coat or a semi-transparent or a solid, whatever stain coating you choose after that.
If you're going to do that, if you're going to restain your deck, you'd need to clean off that moss-like stuff first too.
Exactly. Yep. That's always a good prep step. Make sure everything's good and clean, no contamination, and of course you want to make sure it's dry enough. So even though you can do the cleaning steps early in the spring, we want to make sure the moisture content too wet to accept the stain. So want to wait for a little warm weather and some sun.
One more follow-up question on that. If you're putting up a deck and you're using treated lumber, how long do you have to wait before you can stain it?
That's funny. When I started 20 years ago selling deck stains, they always used to tell us to let them weather a season or about 6 months. But now the treatment that's in that wood will actually weather out within just a couple of weeks. And the stains that we have now also can let that moisture out of the wood as well. So a couple of weeks to a month is enough. Of course, it depends on the time of year, but if you want to be safe, wait about a month or so.
And Sonia, you talked about that new flooring. How much of flooring is something that the homeowner can tackle on themselves, and how much of it do they need professional installation?
Well, with the attached underlayment, it makes it really easy for somebody to be able to do themselves if they're handy. And then we instruction or paperwork that goes along with the package if they need advice on how to do it. But they're making it quite easy for homeowners, but we still have, I think, the best installers in the area. So you can't get any easier than that.
Mike, at one time, Westside Decorating was doing a lot of in-store classes and seminars, if you will. Are they going to start up again after you get the construction done?
Yeah, that's the hope. Once we get everything situated, we should have, like you said, a little bit more room, and we hope to get back to the in-person classes. Those were fun. Engagement at those.
You can build a classroom.
we certainly could.
But you won't. I know. I understand. Tell everybody where you're located and how they can get a hold of you and what kind of hours you keep and all that good stuff.
Sure. Yeah, so we're at 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township, right near State and Weineke. Phone number is 989-793-6182. Our hours during the week, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 5:30 p.m., Saturdays, 9 until 3 o'clock. And they can always email us or chat with us on our website, Westside Decorating.
Well, we used to say you were right next door to the Saginaw Spirit. Now we can say eventually when you get done, you're right next door to Super Cafe, right?
The Super Cafe, there you go.
And Sonia, if someone needs your help, how do they get a hold of you?
You can find our email address on our website, or you can give us a call at 989-793-6182.
Great. Listen, both of you will do it again. Good chatting with you, Mike.
Yep. See you, Art.
And Sonia, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye now. Westside Decorating, the subject of focus today. Good morning. How was your sleep last night? You know, in this world, we're asked to do more for less, so theoretically, when you spend a third of your life there, you really need quality sleep. You can get it with a quality mattress from Sanitary Mattress, and you can visit all the so-called sleep stores, or you can rest assured the mattress you are using is manufactured right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Your dollars are spent, and they stay right here in our local economy. Your time in bed may be cut short by today's demanding world, but don't be fooled. You can still get a quality good night's sleep on a Sanitary Mattress. And they feature 1-hour window delivery of your mattress to your home. You don't have to wait around all day. If you have an RV or a boat, Sanitary Mattress will custom make a mattress for you, something the box stores can't do. Visit the Sanitary Mattress factory and showroom serving this area since 1935. Set your GPS to 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, just east of the Harry Brown Airport. Visit them on the web at sanitarymattress.com or call them at 989-753-1757. Sanitary Mattress.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain,